Hey. Hey. Okay, can everybody in here hear me okay? Hey, all right. I think I'll just stand right here. I'm old, so I have to use my readers, so pardon me.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, great. All right, so welcome to the wedding of Michele and Nathan Maciejewski.
All right, I'm a rock star for sure. All right, no big deal. All right, so my name is Joan McMahon, and I've had the honor and privilege of being selected to be Michelle's maid of honor and Nathan's maid of honor. And before I get started with toasting Michele and Nathan tonight, I wanted to recognize some very special guests that we have here tonight. First of all, I'd like to recognize the parents of the bride, Mr. and Mrs. Carl and Chris Brown, hailing from Florida. Congratulations on gaining a son-in-law today, and the family, okay? And also brother Michael Brown. Woo-hoo! All right. So now we have the parents of the groom, Mr. and Mrs. Norm and Barbara Maciejewski. Congratulations on gaining an awesome daughter-in-law. We also have Nathan's brother and sister Matt and Lindsay, and we also have his niece Langley and nephew Mason. So lots of cool things happening. Two families are coming together into one tonight. So this is great. Also wanted to recognize all of those who couldn't be here tonight, all from Australia, England, and across the United States. And for all of us who traveled near and far, including myself from Chicago, thank you for making the trip. Nathan and Michele really appreciate that, don't you, Michele and Nathan? You do now, right? Okay, awesome. So, all right, let's talk about the love story of Michele and Nathan, okay? Spoiler alert, love wins, okay? Michele and Nathan connected in November of 2019, and they had their first date in December of that same year at a bar at the Roost in Longmont. Okay, so an awesome dental hygienist and a creative musician / instrument restoration artist walk into a bar. I feel like there's a joke here, I really do. And, you know, I think it's straight out of Longmont. What do you think, Michele? Straight out of Longmont? Totally. Anyway, so they found that down that fateful night they have many things in common, not the least of which is an appreciation for music, right? Yay! Music. They have a passion for music, especially Tool, Radiohead, Gojira, Meshuggah, and YouTube, but the early YouTube. Not the later YouTube, the early YouTube. Very important distinction there, okay? And yeah, see, Nathan, you got me on the right track there. They not only share that, but they also share their love of the beautiful state of Colorado, and they're on their way to exploring the whole state for the rest of your lives. It'll be awesome. In addition to that, they're awesomely creative, enthusiastic. They both have a curiosity about life. All of this sparked an awesome thing that night, which blossomed into an abiding love that is the reason we are all here today. So let's talk a little bit about these beautiful people. I did some surveys. This is not just my brain saying these things. I actually surveyed people, got real, authentic quotes. So Nathan told me that he was born in Hagerstown, Maryland, and his childhood was largely spent in Fairport, New York, with his mom, dad, and Matt and Lindsay. You can correct me if I'm wrong, right? Okay. And his family and friends, these are quotes, describe him as loyal, caring, hardworking, fun-loving, and sarcastic. He's also described as articulate, I don't want to lose you guys, focused, strong-willed, and talented. He's a proud lead guitarist of the musical band Moment of Truth. So many stories to share about Nathan, but I'm going to allow his awesome brother Matt to kind of get to the juicy stuff there, okay? I don't want to steal his thunder. So I'm going to talk about my beautiful friend Michele. And and I will get verklempt, it's going to happen, so it's all good. I'm Irish, so I'm able to be emotive, it's all good. Michele was born in Butte, Montana with her mom, dad, and her big brother Michael. They lived in many places. Before settling in Colorado, she grew up in Kansas, Illinois, and on a beautiful street called Christmas Lane in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I've been there, it's really cool and beautiful. She's described literally in quotes by her friends and family as beautiful, funny, kind, generous, thoughtful. She's wicked smart, okay? She's professional. Any teeth issues, go talk to her. She's awesome. Hardworking, capable. She's fun, spontaneous, open to new ideas. She's really open for anything. She's an encyclopedia, along with Nathan, of music. So don't come to them with incorrect facts about music. They will correct you, okay? She's also, and this is a quote, brutally honest. She's unabashed in her observations about people. She not only says the things that she believes and feels, but she says the things that you wish you had the courage to say as well. And that is why we love you, Michele. All right. She's an awesome gift giver. She's always in the game. She's always present. And with issues, big and small, profound and, the deep stuff, but also, what should I wear to my date with Mike? Last week you helped me with that, So it was all good stuff. I can go on and on about Michele and my stories, but I will only focus on a couple. One is, one day we were at the Cherry Cricket just eating a hamburger and fries. She was probably eating something more healthy than me. And we just decided to do a Warrior II pose out in the street. And everybody was looking at us like, oh, is that a thing that people just do yoga? Random poses in the middle of the street? And that's what we started. We started that trend. And this is all true. This one might maybe make me a little emotional, but that's okay. Michele's an awesome runner. She's run several marathons, half marathons, and all of that. She's very fast. She's wicked fast. And one time I did a half marathon with her. I'm a runner, but I'm not in the same league as Michele. So we did a half marathon. Do you remember that? Oh, good. And she finished way. She already ate. You know what I mean? She finished, she ate. And she's like, Mom, where's Joni? My cute friend Joni. She's a runner, but she's not as fast as me. So what does Michele do? She runs back into the race, about a mile, I'd say, maybe a mile and a half, finds me, right? And then she encourages me, because I'm dying, and we ran the last part of the race together, and I will never forget crossing the finish line with her. In her case, it was the second time. For me, it was but I finished because Michele encouraged me. So again, I have 1,000 stories, but Michele is truly a wonderful friend, and I'm blessed to know her. And throughout the week, I've been told, oh, are you guys sisters? And I'm like, yeah, we kind of are, not by blood, but, spiritually and otherwise. So I'm honored to be mistaken for her sister. Definitely. All right. So thank you. I'm surprised I didn't cry, but I did earlier when I practiced by myself. All right. So again, I can go on and on, but let's focus now on Nathan and Michele and the love that they share. The good news is that these two unique and beautiful, dynamic, positive people came together on that fateful December day. Where? At the Roost in Longmont. Okay. And they created a relationship that will last for all time. And will be an example for all of us to follow. All right? So let's talk about love. Let's talk about love. Okay? The good news is that love wins. It always, always does. It conquers all, even in the face of life's challenges. As my favorite poem, Desiderata, reminds us, never be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is perennial as the grass. It keeps coming back. It keeps growing. Of all the virtues, the greatest of these is what? Love. Right? The greatest of these is love. And I'm sure you've heard of love is patient. And if you are all very patient too to listen to this long spiel, right? So love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. Love never fails. And so those are really deep and profound thoughts. Would you agree? So Michele can be deep, Nathan can be deep. So let's get a little like hipper and cooler, all right? Let's get hip and cool. I did some research on their favorite bands, and I did find some love songs, although they're not well known for their love songs, okay? So from Radiohead, the song Glass Eyes, I feel this love to the core. I found one loving thing that Radiohead had said. From Tool's song Jambi. Jambi. I was listening to Tool all week, just so you know. I really was. You know what? In order to find something that involves love and the love of their favorite band. So I found one. I did. I listened to all the songs too, and I was jamming out. I liked Tool. And this was the song. It's Jambi. You guys remember this? I'm not sure how obscure it is. But here's a couple of phrases. You lifted me up, turned me around, and I got what I wanted all along. Shine on forever. Shine until two become one. Breathe in union. Breathe in union as one. All right, I found the love song and Tool. Tool and Radiohead are not well known for their love songs. So, as we reflect on Tool and Radiohead and, Desiderata and all these things, Michele and Nathan are here to guide us into the future so that we can be dynamic. Don't just be conventional. No. Don't be conventional. Be dynamic, be creative, be musical. That's what they give us definitely to look forward to. So let us raise a glass, all of us, if you have one. You got one? Everyone got a glass? Okay, I haven't forgotten about you guys out here. Okay, so to Nathan and Michele, and to the Maciejewski family and the Brown family. May your days be like today, surrounded by those you love, with love at the center. May you have joy, peace, prosperity, adventure, health, faith, courage, growth, and hope. And Tool and Radiohead, okay? And of course, may you always have love all the days of your lives. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you. I'm just listening at Tool for you. That's how much I love you. So now I'm going to pass it over to Matt Maciejewski, who's going to tell us all about the deep stuff about Nathan.
Thank you, Joan. Can everybody give a round of applause to Joan? So, Joan, thank you for those thoughtful words. That's really touching. I want to really thank you all very much for coming out here and being with us today. It's a beautiful evening, and it's a really neat time we have to be together. And Nathan, Michele, you two are just total trip upgrade for our family, so thank you so much. And we're so happy to have all the members of your family to join ours, and the memories we'll be making in the years So just want to tell you a little bit about Nathan, but before I do that,
take a step to the
Step
right.
forward. Yes, put the microphone up to your mouth.
like that. That's so much better. Very good. So friends and family, we're here to celebrate Michelle's love in the time of COVID. It's kind of like Gabriel Garcia Marquez novel Love in the Time of Cholera, but it's really death metal as background. So you may sense some themes in our two little toasts. I'd like to start though by giving thanks, really mostly to Michele, because you in marrying Nathan have brought so much joy to him. I haven't seen him this happy in maybe ever, and he's just and it's really bringing us together in this kind of uncertain time to be able to celebrate and have such a joyous occasion. It's just a really special thing that we can celebrate, and it's more poignant because of all that's been going on. And I just want to thank then my parents, Norm and Barb Maciejewski, for helping make this weekend so wonderful. And raising Nathan to be the man that he is and the brother that he is, he's an uncle that he is. It's really you guys have done it all. And would also then like to thank Chris and Carol Brown for the amazing daughter you brought into the world that now is part of our family. And we're just so happy to have her be part of our family. Since I live in North Carolina, I don't get to spend as much time with these guys as I wish we could. Don and the kids and I, we get out here once or twice a year. But we really appreciate the energy and the positivity that Michelle's brought to our family. And she's really also brought out a real sweetness that is in Nathan, but he doesn't let it out as much as he should. Right. We love seeing it because he's a sweet, sweet guy deep down under the crustiness. And she really, that is a wonderful thing that makes me know that you guys are going to make it go the distance, because having that connection with Nathan is something that's just all good, and it's more of it, the better. So keep doing whatever it is you're doing. And then also one thing, in the short time that we've got to know each other, it's clear that you're a very independent woman, very spirited woman, and it's good that you have these qualities, because that combined with the independence that you have really make you a really strong woman individually and then strong as a couple, and that's really wonderful to see. From what I can tell, as maybe we can all tell from tonight, Michele also likes good food, good beer, good scotch from what I understand, and incredibly talented bands that are far out of the mainstream, just like Nathan. And Joni mentioned a few of them, I guess radio. And from all appearances, she also likes to have a really good time. And I think because of that, what you're bringing to Nathan, I think it seems as though your lives are going to be full of intense and sweet companionship, with periodic bouts of animated discussion, all lubricated by good food and good drink. And I think it's a path that many of us would recommend for you, so that's great. Don and I are trying to do that ourselves a little bit. And so Nathan, you should pinch yourself, because you're not dreaming. This amazing woman is now your wife. Wait, there's more. Now I'd like to say a few words about my not-so-baby brother Nathan. And I'd also like to thank my sister and brother-in-law and my wife for helping me edit this.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Love you, Nathan.
I would like to see you.
As you all know, and as you heard from Joan, Nathan is really passionate about music, and he's been playing it for 30 years, 40 years, something like that. You know, and while none of you may know this, I might have actually been the one that inspired Nathan in his lifelong path of music. Let me explain. When I was 16 and Nathan was 11, we shared a room in our house in Fairport, New York, and our room had bunk beds in it that our dad built because he's amazing and too cheap to buy ones. And so we would share this room, and these bunk beds were just awesome family heirlooms that are sawdust or something. And because we shared this room, I did my homework in that room, often late at night, 3 or 4 hours every night. And that would have been fine had the Walkman not been invented around the same time. Because every night in that darkened room, as Nathan was trying to get to sleep, I'd sit at my desk doing homework and listening to music on the Walkman, and then with 2 pencils drum along to every song for 3 or 4 hours, 5 feet from Nathan's head. And so, that experience,
I'll never forgive you for that.
So that experience scarred him with a burning desire to make high-quality music, unlike what I was doing. And from that formative experience, Nathan went on to a long career as a musical artist, unwilling to compromise his vision. And I really admire that about Nathan, because integrity is one thing that he got from our parents, but he holds really strongly. And I think that's a wonderful thing about him. Nathan and I, as I mentioned, haven't been able to spend as much time together as we'd like, because of being in North Carolina and Seattle before that. Since we stopped sharing that bedroom in 1987 when I went off to college. But we were able to really connect in 2006 when Donna and I moved from Seattle to North Carolina, and he agreed to road trip with me on that. I picked him up here, and then we went off through the Midwest. And over 3 long days of driving, we got to talk about everything. And I was reminded of what an incredibly thoughtful, wickedly brilliant, and wickedly funny guy Nathan is. What I would do to have his brain, even with all the damage he's done to it. So after all this distance and all this time, I'm just really grateful that he still talks to me, frankly. And I'm so grateful to be able to celebrate this amazing occasion with you two. Nathan, you're a great brother, a great uncle to Laney and Mason, and a great brother-in-law to Donna. You've been amazing to welcome her into the family. It's the first of now 3, and you've just been awesome. And you've also been, from what Mom and Dad tell me, a mediocre son. But they love you as you are, and as does Luke. So I'm so happy for you two, and I wish you a lifetime of happiness. And everyone, oh wait, there's something else. Something like, I wish you greater understanding of one another with each passing day. So everyone, would you please lift your glasses? I'd like to make a toast. May you strengthen in your love and understanding of one another and make each other laugh every day.
First off, obviously, thank you, everybody who has been assisting in making today such a lovely day. For those near and far who have chosen to share today with us. Now I'm really going to get to the meat of things. First, I've got to edit a lot of what he just said. Because it was really Mom and Dad who kicked me off into the world of music. They had amazing taste at one point in their lives. I was born in 1974. There's a lot of amazing music made. We We heard a lot of it over dinner. Steely Dan. Right? I could go on and on and on, but somehow it turned into this pop country and Man Steamroller stuff. What? So, Mom and Dad turned me on to music, and I can't thank them enough. And on a level, I grew up in a neighborhood where there were about like 5 of us kids that were like super tight. Life's changed, that's not a big deal. Point being, it was the 70s, early 80s, so people party.
Yeah.
Like drive around with your kids in the car. Yeah, right? Anyway, but they partied in the neighborhood a lot. Great times, great food, great conversations, great laughs, all that good stuff. Then the Man Steamroller stuff shows up. But anyway, so yeah, Matt is right. We had this study thing that he did. And it was not drumming, it was a pen on a folder that he would, I wish I had pictures. You push the tip of the pen down and you roll it. So it's sort of like a backwards comma, or the lower half of, or over 2/3 of the semicolon. Anywho, so that's why I got into punk rock and metal. That's the editing I needed to do there. Otherwise, I utterly thank you for all the kind words. And I'm going to offer this because, as people know, I am a touch selfish in certain ways. But I have 2 dear friends from my younger years. One I am still playing with, one who is part of why I'm still playing with the other guy. This Moment of Truth band that Joan mentioned is actually a band that got put back together 26 years after we were kind of done. The point is, whether or not we made music, however long ago that was, our friendship remained, which is why I think so many of you are here, because you have friendships that have persisted, whether by blood or otherwise. But without 2 people in this room in a certain way, those are bonds that just last, and I hope we all get to develop those bonds, whether it's today, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. To speak to the Moment of Truth world, whether or not you recall that my brother and another gentleman named Andy Davies, who is somewhere nearby here, are from the hometown, and I do remember them being at a very specific show at Backstreets, screaming our name, knowing nothing about us other than they were there to support, thankfully, more guitar! So with that, obviously life is about connection, despite blood ties or not. And with connection comes deeper kinship. And I feel so grateful that there's about 100 of us here right now, sharing in our wonderful choice to be together. Carla, Chris, Norman, Barb, Matt, Lindsay, Dan, Donna, Langley, Mason, Michael, all of the other blood I can mention, friends I can mention that I've made, whether it's yesterday or 20 years ago. I can't thank you enough for wanting to take the time to be here right now. This attitude also was something very unexpected, and I hope we're all managing it as well as we can and can reemerge from it to the best of our abilities. Stronger, healthier, more connected, and realizing what's good in life. And whether this handful of hours together is just a piece of enjoyment or something that fuels us much further along, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yikes. It's my own hot mic. Ladies and gentlemen, it was beautiful words from both sides of the aisle tonight. So what I need, really, from the patio, from the indoors, can we please make some noise for the bride and groom? To the beautiful couple. And so I know we are running sort of, kind of short on time at this time, so I hope everybody has at least one tooth, maybe plural teeth that are sweet, because we do have a delicious cake that should be, ought to be, cut into immediately. So, I'm going to try to facilitate that. I'm not sure who's quite in charge of that. I'm going to take a peek in. There's nobody up here.